Athaman on Team Red. We got ourselves Angrisa Cost. We got ourselves Rum. And we got ourselves Yatshot. God, some of you guys' names of Russians. Oh, and Athaman sporting the big old bony build versus Larissa. Gonna be going up first on Team Blue. On Team Blue, we also have Procs, Pick a Pillow, Pricey, and the devil himself. Larissa gonna be first up versus your boy Atha. So many Russians in your team, Atha. What kind of build is Atha gonna be rolling here? Dressing Ath coming out, I think, by Larissa actually. And Atha looked like he barely took a hit from that with AMS, as well as Remorseless Winter up for Larissa. Is going to try to see if he can get himself a big old setup. What is that weapon by Atha? It looks like the smallest sword I've ever seen. It's like a short sword. It's like a sword for gnomes. It's going to be blind onto Atha. And the adaptation does get forced out of it. Larissa looking like he wants to get it behind the pillar. That's an interesting blind play. So he doesn't have Stormbolt or nothing. Going to get a bike onto Atha. It took a hit from a bike. It looked like he barely... I mean, he looked like he barely felt it whatsoever. His health just hasn't moved at all, if barely anything whatsoever. Larissa dropping in death pack, but looks like they're actually down for the count completely. Barely trying to survive against Atha himself. Feels like it hasn't moved whatsoever. Hasn't even went for a stun until Larissa. This is again the end game finisher onto the DK, and he'll have it, and down he goes. Atha barely taking damage from that one. Pick a Pillar gonna be up next as a Boomy and Atha. Gotta go bullying some pharaohs. Seriously, what is that sword? It's like two things of bone with a thing wrapped between them, and like a crystal in between. It's like the shortest sword I've ever seen. I mean, it feels the whole bone aesthetic that you got going on for like the whole Mog. But it's the shortest sword I've ever seen. It's like a short sword for two-hander. Weird. Razdik is 0 damage. Oh my goodness, dude. Oh my goodness. Disarm coming in onto Atho. Actually choosing between Twisted Appendage and the Boom. He actually had to back up, even Pick a Pillow. Plenty of distance down in the middle between him and the Boomy. Barskin coming down as the Hodge comes in. Atho popping and winks, trying to get some damage into Pick a Pillow. Does this man have a lot of versatility? Pick up better have a lot of versatility to survive this. Actually getting a huge heal with full frenzy regen. That's going to be bashed instant trinket by Atham. Because of adaptation, not a lot that Atham can really do about it. Adaptation is going to kind of get him out of CC often. For Athaman, though, it's going to be good as an adaptation, except for Pricey, who doesn't have a lot of long-term CC, except maybe like a Fear. And Devil. Devil is not going to be that good for him, because Devil can just sab the adaptation off. Disarm onto Atha is Pika trying to get some reverse damage back in. Does he have Thorns back up? He's trying to get as many instant casts as possible. Going to be Trinket with Warstorm onto Atha as he got some wings up and running. Does he have any roots on the Atha? If he has any roots or slows, that could be perfect. I don't think Boomy's actually have any slows except for Thorns. That's going to be Incarnation for Pika. Having to pop back into bear form. Trying to recover health as much as possible. Recovered as much as it could, but Thorns back up and running to give Atha a bit of a slow. Trying to go for a Tangle Roost. Does Atha have the Judgment from downtown? No, but it's going to be Crucible instead. Just a Crucible flame from literally downtown. And Price is going to be up next versus Atho. Atho, you're going to have to tell me what kind of build you're going here for here, boy. You're going to have to tell me just how much damn, what kind of a setup you got going on after this one, because I have an idea. It's going to be Trinket for Pricey off of that Hodge. Is just trying to go for a bit of damage. It's going to be Infernal coming down. Quick cast of Chaos Bolts are flying, and that's going to be Mortal Cold to keep Atha in the open. Shadow Fury not going to be able to get him with adaptation. Cataclysm into another Chaos Bolt. Trying to summon the Succubus as Shield of Vengeance is up for Atha. Barely taking damage with a Shield of Vengeance. Then again, the Chaos Bolts are mostly through. That's was a lot of Chaos Bolts. How beefed up are your Chaos Bolts now? Those were beefed up Chaos Bolts. Those were beefed up Chaos Bolts. Those is what you would call a Chaos Bolt that's empowered with the Infernal. Unless he doesn't play empowered Chaos Bolts. Does he not play empowered Chaos Bolts? Does Pricey play for more of the Conflag dot damage? The rolling Havoc, I think it is? No, it's not Rolling Havoc. It's something else. But it's Roaring Blaze, I think. Where Conflag has a bit of a damage over time. Maybe that's what he's running for. Maybe he's not going for the big, like, Infernal Chaos Bolts, but that'll be weird. Fear onto Atha doesn't have adaptation to break him out. I don't even know what broke him out on adaptation in the first place, but that's going to be a back-to-back CC with a Chaos Bolt onto Atha. Again, looks like his health barely moves at all. Is going to go for a big old Wake of Ashes. Has a lot of resource prices, I think, have nothing left. Try to go for a wall and get whatever cast it can to get away from Atha. Mortal Cold should be available soon, hopefully. Is going to hit him with a Feared Super DR, though, but it's going to be Chaos Bolt. Atha's health actually took a chunk in just for a second. Does he have the Succubus Seed to stop him? Does him out with a Tempest Verdict at the end. And the devil himself is going to be next. Oh, opening up with a cheap shot. Not even a sap, as Azeroth does. Get to hit him AoE out. It's going to be killing shot off of that cheap shot to follow. This is going to be pretty hard. Slow on the devil. He's going to try to shot us up around Azeroth, but he got himself minute-long wings available. Try to blast as much damage as he can into evasion. I think he's actually getting procs from that evasion, though. I think he actually is getting good procs out of it if he's playing the right build I'm thinking of. He was playing the Judgment build. This Paladin is a tank, dude. I think so. Blind into Azeroth. Adaptation coming in at the right time. Devil was not planning on it. That adaptation was not planned on, and Azeroth just taking advantage of the damage, all the CC breaker capability that adaptation gives him. Blind adaptation allows Azeroth to punish the rogue and go as ham as possible. So the devil might be able to get himself a little bit of a recoup here. As dampening finally rolls in at the 5-minute 50-second mark, boys. From here on, dampening is just going to make it harder and harder for everybody to play. And Devil's just going to get some dots with a slow into Atham. I'm trying to see if you can cut him around for a moment. Exactly what he needs. Atham picking up eyes. Might be able to see the rogue. Rogue steps onto Atham with a cheap shot. And it's looking to get the hell out of it. Does have a sprint available as the Hand of Hindrance comes in. And it looks like he's actually immune to that Hand of Hindrance completely. Yeah, it looks like he immuned it completely. Just immuned it. Go road onto Atham. Does he have a kitten shot available? Cheap shot. It's going to be super DR. Hodge on the devil. Has a trinket if he needs to. Should probably trick it out of it. Does trick it out of it. But I think Atham is still going to have him here. Did he use a Mally onto Atham? I think he might have threw a Mally on him at the very, very last second. It looks like Procs is going to be the last one left on Team Blue. This is going to be in stealth with Atham. He's going to have to play this very, very carefully. So far, Atham have taken 0 damage. Big dress with a big old bite coming out by Atham. And he's going to get himself quite a bit of heals from the Crucible into a Skull Bash. Atham able to still heal himself with a second stack of Crucible. Trying to go for flashlights. Just trying to play as defensive as he can. As Procs pop himself a wall. Atham isn't even looking at attacking Procs whatsoever. He just a pop wall. Okay, I'll just heal myself. Flash a light. Hands up in the air. There's the light from above. It's just going to bless me. Wings are up as the Hodge comes down onto Procs. Procs not super scared of it. Not trinketing. That's very big damage coming out for Atham, though. Procs might have to pop a second wall already. It does go for a big heal himself at the last moment. Hasn't popped a wall yet. Still holding on to Trinket as we hit on the 7-minute mark. And Atham trying to see if he might be able to catch him. But that's going to be resettled by the Feral. Atham and adaptation procking out immediately. Procs popping in the tank Trinket from Nealotha. Not the biggest absorb ever, but he does a good job as it's 80% damage reduction while the shield is up. So the shield gives you a small shield. It has been nerfed by Blizzard. But still, people use it even right now in AWC in particular, especially while dampening isn't super high, to give himself a small absorb. So basically, it's like what, 20, 30k, 40k absorb shield with 80% damage reduction while the shield is up. So it's quite interesting of a trinket. I think they might need to nerf it even further if they want to take it out of PvP completely. But I don't really see a lot of people using it. Hodge onto Procs to follow, got a trinket out of it, got himself a bit of a heal. That's going to be Atham trying to get himself flashlights whenever possible. I guess as soon as Procs gets a Skull Bash off it, might be able to get himself big heals available. But that's going to be a wall for Procs. It's going to have a lot of mastery damage off this if it runs the right traits to the Feral. With Thorns to follow, as Atham is getting quite a bit of clap and damage into the Feral. Is going to get himself a flash of heal in between of it. Maim to follow. Big dress on the Atham. Had to pop himself. Blessing of protection as there was a lot of damage coming out of the Feral. That was a huge setup. Probably a massive bite. Biggest dress ever. And after he didn't bubble, he bopped it, which was interesting. So he wants to say bubble for later. Catches the Feral out from stealth. It's going to hit him with a Hodge. No wings available with this one. Trying to do as much damage as he can with the Templar's Verdict and Crucibles as well. That's going to be a tank trinket available for Procs as Atham trying to see if it busts through it. Not the biggest shield as you can see, but it is quite a bit of damage reduction. As we also see dampening, I think that shield gets smaller. I think that shield shrinks with dampening. Procs has wall back up. If you could use this wall strategically to have a counter-offensive play, because a lot of druids run the Masterful Instincts, I think. It's a trait where if you pop your wall, after the wall is over, you get armor and mastery. It's a tank trait, but for Feral, it works for the mastery big bite setup. So you would pop a defensive as a wall of Feral, and then you'll use the buff that it gives post-wall in order to go counter-offensive. So as Atham popped himself a Shield of Vengeance, there was Procs with Thorns and a wall. That's going to be him with actually lots of damage available. Procs is just shredding. Procs is getting shredded right through. Atham is just punishing Procs. Bash to follow. Doesn't actually trigger adaptation against the rake from earlier. Did the work. It's going to throw a judgment at Procs. He's not going to be able to get himself out of combat just yet. Does Atham have the mobility to catch up? He doesn't. Might be able to AoE Procs out in the open though. He tried to AoE him out. Procs is playing this as super careful as he could. He doesn't have the mastery benefit from the wall anymore. so you won't really have the counter damage available. You might have to wait until another set of walls so you can use it defensively and then counter Atho, or maybe just bleed him up to full. Going for a big old bite dress that did quite a bit of damage. Atho going for self heals as we hit that 10-minute 30% dampening. Thorns are available for procs. I think he ought to use his kick. Atho been dropping quite low in health. Wasn't quite sure if he wanted to get flashlights into Procs' face. I think he might have not used the kick, and he was waiting and trying to juke out the kick, and Procs just continued to do damage, threw in Reaping Flames, threw in everything. Procs no longer with the trinket. No more wall for 20 seconds. Atho has adaptation. No bubble, no bop. Shield of Vengeance is up. He might be able to make something out of this, but Procs is going to play on his own terms. He's not going to go in, I think, until that wall is available. So Atho might have to pick up Eyes. Might have to randomly fan Procs out with a Wake of Ashes or Divine Storm. One of those two. Picked up Eyes. He knows where the Feral is. He saw him for a second. Does get him out. That's going to be wall available for Procs if he wants to. Thorns are up. He's going to wall the Shield of Vengeance out for Atho. There's going to be a big tank trinket available for Procs. Just trying to reduce as much damage as it takes. That's going to be a Hodge for Atho. Wings are up and running. Does he do the big damage here? Trying to blast through Procs as best as he can. And that looked like double Tempo's verdict, and Procs is playing as defensive as possible. Could turn it around onto Atho. He has the big mastery buff, dropping down to health. Might have to make a big play. Main comes out. It's going to be adaptation. Atho hits him with a crucible around the corner, keeping him in combat, putting it down on the guy. If he has the mobility to catch up to the fellow right now, this would be perfect. Procs is going to try to see if he can catch a reset, maybe a rake. No, actually going to go very, very, very defensively. Just get away from Atho. While we're hitting the 12-minute mark, close to a 40% dampener, boys. 20 seconds left on that wall. If Atho could just somehow get next to Procs and just get him out of stealth, get some resources, then he might be in a good spot. Skull Bash by Procs, looking to make the play while Holy Power not available for Atho. Is going to bubble this damage. Does he have a good setup onto Procs? Does get him with a Tempest Verdict. Does he get to catch up the guy at all? If he can just hodge him right now, as Procs is super low, he might have him. That bubble came in handy. Doesn't get the Feral out. Bob's still available for Atho. Has the trinket back up with adaptation very, very soon. And Procs, I think, needs to go for a reset. 72% dampening, not getting any health back at all. Eyes, not available for either one. Dude, this is gonna be a game of the fucking lifetime at the end. You just stop bringing Feral Druids? Yeah, boys. Remember that that run right before this one against the Dash War like a Feral? Yeah, you guys would have been very excited to see that one, right? Oh my goodness. Ferals, dude, is just so tanky. I guess Paladins are too. Well, this Paladin is. It looks like it's going to be it. Atho with a big old 5-0 with Procs just fighting it out tooth and nail. Two great players doing whatever they can to survive. And yes, Ferals have so much survivability, but this Paladin right here was a match to him, man. It was actually a match. 11 million damage, 10 million healing. Oh my goodness, boys. Oh my goodness. What is your build, Atho? I need to know, dude. I need to know. How do I title this thing, dude? How do I title this? Alright, boys, let's get another one going, yeah?